on how you go from hello to yes on what you're looking for.
Sean is a master. He teaches. It's not just about sharing the formula with you. It's about making sure that we learn.
I went from $100,000 in debt from law school to having no money and starting my own law firm on my credit card to selling it 4 years later.
Sean and I, we co-created massive victories in 2 unwinnable jury trials, which are recognized nationally now as top 100 jury verdicts.
To be even on the same track with you, who I respect and admire and love with all my heart.
Never again submit. You're not better and you're not less than any human on earth.
When you shared with us about the unblinded process and the mastery sales training, I just went, wow.
Sean will gain proximity to the most influential and powerful people. He will find out how he can grow their business, how he can help them personally. But the third thing that he does is the most important. Sean serves without an expectation of getting anything in return.
You have very, very high-performing colleagues.
22 years ago, you transformed my life as you did all these people's lives over the course of time. And I couldn't be more grateful. Let's hear it for Tony Robbins.
I don't see him as a lawyer, and I don't see him as a blind person. Someone who has subjugated his ego, who has taught me what serving really looks like.
You have this incredible ability to just have unconditional love for everyone, and that is just an incredible gift.
The moment you have been waiting for.
The American Blind Association is the first new face and voice of that association since Helen Keller.
Formula bore formulas, which is exactly what I've learned from Sean. It's a language-based predictable model. We will have over 300 new sales meetings this month.
This superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. If you believe that, say yes. If you believe that, say yes. Do you think that worked? Bella Rita, I'm absolutely certain that worked. It's Jason's Heart of Influence. Of course that works, Bella Rita. Happy Master Mondays to everybody. Thank you for being here. As Plato said, play a game with me for an hour and we will learn more about each other than if we speak for a year as we explore the only attainable superpower, the ability to influence people with integrity. Bella, who's here?
Sean, we have some extraordinary people for the NFP and FP Trust Heart of Influence put together by Jason Anderson, of course, and hailing first from Hazlet, New Jersey, an experienced fundraiser specializing in corporate partnership, foundation, and individual donor relationships, Chief Development Officer for a nonprofit empowering survivors and families affected by domestic violence and sexual assault, board member for another nonprofit dedicated to eliminating standard housing, advocating for policies and providing training and access resources to help families improve their conditions. I switched up the order. Sorry about that, Natalie. Off with Randy Zamkowitz.
Randy, welcome to the Heart of Influence with Jason Style, and thank you for being here. And as we said, Plato said, play a game with you for an hour. We will learn more about each other than we speak for a year. And to kick that game off, we asked for a fun fact headline, not a story. For example, I ate 5 buckets of popcorn at the movies once as a headline versus my grandparents first started going to the movies in 1917.
Sure.
And they taught my family, right? So what is headline fun fact?
I had a Halloween costume wedding.
Amazing. That is, first of all, a perfect example of a fun fact. And it's a super cool fun fact. That's like a top 50 all-time fun fact with more than 1,000 people on the show. Thank you so much. And you're ready to have a little bit of Halloween fun today.
Okay.
We got this, Bella.
Randy,
Let's go.
I'm guessing you dressed up as a bride.
I did, but a Renaissance one.
Oh, so shall we call you like queen or princess, Randy?
Yeah, it's okay.
Lady Randy, perhaps. Bella, let's go.
Lady Randy is in the house. Next up, Sanford, New York, 18 years as an IP attorney, 9 as a partner of her firm, successfully handling litigation, patent prosecution, trademark, copyright, and licensing, client first, heart-centered, works with clients to understand business goals, helping to achieve them by identifying, protecting, and leveraging valuable IP assets, serving clients in software, electrical, and computer products, medical devices, pharma, aviation, telecom, biotech, and more. Let's welcome to the show, Natalie Richard.
Natalie, congratulations on all of your impact and success. Not easy rowing there at the IP litigation landscape. Congratulations on all you've done. And please, your fun fact.
Thank you. I have, for my fun fact, one more success is that I was the champion in my recent law firm picnic cannonball contest. The only one who did a cannonball into the pool, so by default the winner, but still.
Natalie, default victory is still victory. Cannonballs exploding. Congratulations, Natalie. And are you ready to have some cannonball explosions here today?
Ready, let's do it.
Let's go. Natalie's cannonball and Bella. You would have done a cannonball. It would have been a showdown. Let's go.
That is true. And cannonballing into our next participant from Syracuse, New York, a seasoned, successful B2B sales pro, coach, and leadership development trainer, improving communications between management, sales team, and clients. A winning blend of public speaking, subject matter expertise, leverages a unique mix of visionary strategic operations and analytical mastery, founding members of the Legacy Society at the Foundation for Upstate Medical University, responsible for making the business case for the construction of the Children's Hospital. Let's welcome to the show, Daniel Granis.
Daniel, welcome to Jason's Heart of Influence, and please your fun fact.
I was invited on a date to go to a play once, and I ended up having to play a part in it because the guy who was supposed to got sick. So I had to be a parson for like the last 15 minutes of this thing. It was fun.
Daniel, that is an extraordinary fun fact for sure. And maybe ask what the name of the play was. Anything we would have heard of or no?
I can't remember the name of it. It was like 20 years ago, and it was like an amateur group of people down in the lower Hudson Valley. But I was just, it was like a little murder mystery kind of a thing. And as the person, I had to try to figure out who did it. I got to point to the person and say, she did it. And that was my only line.
That is amazing. Bella Verita, you would enjoy that. Being in a play, going to the play, joining in. Let's go.
Anything that has the word play in it, I am in. And I'm feeling our next guest would be as well. From New York Metro, New Jersey area, a seasoned social entrepreneur and renowned subject matter expert with 30 years of insurance expertise in health benefits and risk management, currently serving as the LLP and a prominent national firm with community engagement, CEO of a community health and wellness hub, bringing high quality service to diverse, historically underserved communities, holds several board positions in education, health, and business. Let's welcome to the show, Tamisha Smith.
Hey guys.
Tamisha, welcome to the Heart of Influence. Thank you for being here. And please, your fun fact.
Yep. Well, first I want to say it's great seeing you again. We met, I serve on the board for the New York State Black Business Alliance, and Tanya Freeman introduced us. Well, so it's great seeing you. Thank you so much. So my fun fact is I would like to go parachuting out a plane. So like each month I go with my son to go to like a sky zone so I can practice getting ready to parachute out a plane. I'm not that good, guys. So that's why I haven't jumped on the plane yet.
You got this,
but I'm
Tamisha.
practicing.
Tamisha, you got this. Wonderful to reconnect. Let's all go skydiving together. We've got this. So Tamisha, are you ready to jump out of the plane on the Heart of Influence?
Absolutely. Yes.
Let's go. Bella, Tamisha's jumping. She's got this.
I think that would be a fantastic, like, Heart of Influence, like doing the Heart of Influence as we're all like coming down from the air. I think that's a great idea, Sean. Let's see if our next guest from Newark, New Jersey would be willing to join in that escapade. Prominent figure in entrepreneurship, small business, extensive expertise in strategic management and human capital economic development for over 30 years in public and private sectors in non-GOs in US and Africa. A PhD in public administration, regional director of the New Jersey Small Business Development Center at Rutgers, CEO of 3 global businesses on various major boards focusing on social impact and community, receiving numerous accolades and prestigious awards. Let's welcome to the show, Dr. Tindai Doro.
Thank you.
And how shall we refer to you, Dr. Tendai or?
Dr. Tendai is fine.
Thanks, Dr. Tendai. And please, your fun fact.
My fun fact is I ran for Member of Parliament in my home country of Zimbabwe. And it so happened that that was my first time voting because I'm a dual citizen, my first time voting, my first time getting involved in politics, and I was running for Member of Parliament, which is the equivalent of a congressperson in the US.
Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations on that. Thanks for sharing that.
It was fun. I'm not doing it again this lifetime, but it was fun.
I'm sure maybe you can run for president.
Oh no.
That's up for grabs right now. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Yeah. That's it's a fun time.
Dr. Tendai for president, Belvrita. Dr. Tendai for president. Let's go.
I'm in for it. Dr. Tendai for president. Got my vote.
We already had everyone, so it's okay.
Last but not least, from Staten Island, New York, a self-described user-centric design evangelist creating transformative sales enablement mobile applications, a founder and CEO of a successful 10-year SaaS business, leading sales development, tech, and business to create the next gen of mobile BI analytics apps for pharma, med, device, and financial services, an intuitive CRM, business intelligence, and advocate analyst for a platform giving commercial teams ongoing actionable intelligence, driving sales productivity at the competitive advantage, increasing revenue, and developing rapid ROI. Let's welcome to the show, Manish Sharma.
Mana, thank you so much for being here today. And please, your fun fact.
Yeah, I need to work on that bio again, but we will work on that next time. My fun fact is that I was asked to join climbing of Kilimanjaro and I agreed to that even though I had not gone on a hike in the last 2 years. So
how many years?
Last 2 years. The 2 years before that, I had not hiked any at all. So I actually got roped into climbing Kilimanjaro, and that was an experience.
And how did your feet survive the journey?
Barely.
Some layers of skin were removed, man. Is that what we're hearing?
Well, it was fun. I think if you spend enough money at REI buying the right hiking boots, get the right Sherpas to help you to carry along, you can actually do it. But
Bella, that's why you have me buy your shoes and have you me as your Sherpa. Is that what I'm hearing, Belvrita?
That is correct, Sean Callaghy, 100%.
Nana, she is aligned with your concept. I am her Sherpa. Let's go, Belle.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, let me introduce my co-host, the man that Tony Robbins said, there's no one who leads with more heart and more integrity than Sean Callaghy. He beats world champions like Bet Key at body surfing competitions. He is only one of 2 attorneys to win 2 top 100 national jury verdicts between 2014 and 2016, and the only one that was blind out of 1.2 million attorneys. And in fact, the state of New Jersey, where many of you are sitting right now, actually named him one of New Jersey's most influential attorneys. He has spoken on stages from Fortune 10 companies to Fortune 500 companies, such as Disney, T-Mobile, Salesforce, Tony Robbins, soon to be MasterCard. And when he's not busy flying around, speaking on stages in front of thousands of people, he's an incredible philanthropist that in the last 2 years, raised nearly $10 million for refugees in the Ukraine. Let me welcome my co-host, Mr. Sean Callaghan.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm going to go with for today. My fun fact is, while I'm a blind man that has taught sighted people to ski, surf, and scuba dive, I was most recently helicoptering across the Caribbean with Bella Rita to go to Little Cayman to go scuba diving. And then I had the privilege of free diving 120 feet, 60 feet down, 60 feet back up on a single breath hold. Not bad, Bella Rita, for a blind guy.
Not bad for a blind guy. I think that's the name of your future book.
Yes, thank you very much. That is Bella's idea. And I'm going to introduce my co-host, the woman who did such a beautiful job sharing the bios of the folks that are here. This woman began her career in the space of influence as an 8-year-old on her parents' front lawn selling crafts. By the age of 19, she was a 7-figure business generator in the space of network marketing. 24, 25, 26 years old in the male-dominated industry of business brokerage in the state of Nevada, she became Nevada's #1 business broker, three-peating like Michael Jordan, not in basketball, just in business brokerage. And at 24, she was the first woman to ever be the #1 business broker in the state of Nevada, period. And she was the youngest person, male or female, ever to do it, let alone 3 straight times. She started to train entrepreneurs and Fortune 500 companies. In fact, in 2019, every sales team she worked with doubled their sales. She's a skier, surfer, scuba diver, adventurer in the most extreme of conditions. Maybe she learned it from a blind man or maybe from YouTube. Depends on how she likes the blind man that day or not. Philanthropist raising more than $10 million with the Unblinded team for charity over the past 2.5 years, and 2-time published author, about to be 3-time published author. And this woman in 2023 not only battled, but defeated and thrived over cancer. Let's welcome to her show and her more than 1,000th episode. We recently counted. We're off by a little bit. We're under. It's over 1,000. Bella Rita. Miss Bella Rita, welcome to your show, and please, your fun fact.
Yes, my fun fact, I in fact did 14 scuba dives last week. And my fun fact is every room that I've been in since then feels like I'm like still on a boat. I'm sitting here at this table and I'm like, somebody please, I'm now back in New Jersey and Hoboken, and somebody please stop the building from moving.
What, Bella? What did you say? Is everything okay?
Exactly.
No, that is, and Bella did an
I'm
incredible job.
actually under the sea.
Yeah, and she may or may not have gone down to 118 feet, breaking Cayman law. So I may be defending Bella in Cayman and diving court. So Bella, let's do the thing.
Let's do the things. How about we kick this show off with Natalie today, Sean?
Oh, okay. Natalie, this is what we're doing. We had some fun, made a few intros, but we're exploring, Natalie, the superpower of influence. It's what drives everything forward in our leadership, in our management, in our recruitment, in our fundraising, for philanthropy, for profit, our selling, our marketing. Everything, socially and otherwise, happens after yes. But what is it that separates the gargantuan Godzillas of causing yes from the grains of sand of causing yes, and everything in between, with integrity, of course? So we're not pitching, hooking, closing, Natalie, and everyone, but instead, what does it look like when heart-centered, integrous people have the yes that should happen, but can't break through all the noise? So Natalie, Bella will be anybody you want her to be. She could be an ideal client. She could be a charitable fundraising partner. Heck, she could be somebody famous like Oprah Winfrey or Warren Buffett. Anyone, Natalie, that it would make sense for you to be going from hello to yes with. Doesn't have to be a sale, not Wolf of Wall Street meets Boiler Room, but instead could just be a yes for a longer conversation. Natalie, please, who is Bella going to be?
Bella, if you could be legal counsel at a company who is looking to protect their inventions or brands or both.
Oh, Bella, I like this. You're legal counsel in a company. You got some stuff to protect. Take us in.
All right. Hello, this is lawyer Bella Verita.
Oh, hello. I'm so happy to hear from you. Thank you. Thank you for reaching out. Can I ask you, is there somehow I can help you?
Yes, I was reaching out because our company, we have developed an extensive amount of IP. It's 24 years in the making that we have developed this formula for integrity-based human influence, and we're looking to protect it.
That's incredible. I would love to help you. So just to give you a little idea of what I do, I work with companies that do all kinds of different technology, including, some is more pharma-based and some is more software-based. But, for whatever it is, I'm sure if I can help you, somebody else at my firm can help you. I'd love to know more about, what you're doing. Is there something recently that you've been working on that you're looking to protect?
Yeah, so we've got a particular, so we've been developing this formula and this technology for about 24 years. And we've recently created a technology that helps companies and business owners develop their realize their unactualized relationship capital and how to ecosystem merge so that two or more companies can monetize together.
That's incredible. So, do you have any thoughts in mind of where you were looking to start? Are you hoping to get a patent? Are you open to, would you like to hear about the different types of ways you could protect that incredible asset that you've been developing for 24 years?
I am definitely, I know there's a couple different ways to do so, but definitely looking for suggestions for sure.
Okay. I'd be happy to give you suggestions. You might want to consider some trademarks, some patents. Well, would you like to, we can get together one day and go over it? If you'd like, we can set up a time to talk further.
Yeah, I would definitely like to have a little bit more information and see what that looks like. So, maybe we can meet next week.
I'll send you an invite and then we can get together and, I'll prepare some materials for you.
Perfect.
Excellent job, Natalie. Yeah, thank you, Bella. Thank you, Natalie. Sorry to step in there, Bella. I thought you were complete. But Bella Rita, we'll get to Natalie some feedback in a moment. And who's next?
Next up, we have Miss Randy.
I'm sorry, it's Brandy with a B?
No, Randy with an R.
Randy, like your
That's
sister.
what I thought. I misheard. Yeah, Randy, that's what my sister's name is Randy. That's what I thought I originally heard. I misheard it there. So Randy, please, who would you like Bella to be?
It is a little intimidating, and I don't know if it was explained that well when I agreed to be a participant. So, potential donor, I guess.
Okay, cool. And Randy, all good. We're just having fun here. No pressure in any way, shape, or form. The feedbackers, it's only like beautifully positive, optimizing feedback and everything you did well. And like donors could come out of the woodwork here. So Bella and Randy, understand this. Bella Rita has cash pouring out of every pocket, burning a hole, and it's waiting to fall into your lap. So Bella, take us in.
Yes, that is very true. Hello, this is Bella.
Hi, Bella. My name is Randy, and in this scenario, we know each other. So just letting you know. I am with 180 Turning Lives Around, as you know, and we are in the process of doing a campaign to name our safe house after our chief executive officer. She devoted 40 years of her life to making monumental changes in the field of domestic violence, started the first safe house in the country that was federally funded. And right now we're just trying to honor her legacy by naming the safe house after her, and we're looking for gifts that can be recognized.
Oh, well, thank you. And tell me what kind of, gifts are you looking for? What does this, I know there's probably different amounts, but what is it that you're looking for?
Sure. So they range in levels from 1,000 to have a name mention on the wall up to, unlimited. I mean, we have a $25,000 donor secured already, who wanted to invest in the playground at the Safe House, and so is also being part of the naming opportunity. And we're looking for 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 25, and above. So it just depends on how much recognition you want and how much you care about our Safe House and keeping this legacy going for the families that we care for.
Good. Well, I am definitely, interested. So how about you send over the different packages, and then from there we can, see which one makes sense.
That would be great. This is a gift that we want you to feel really good about and to know that you're going to be a partner in this and making a monumental change. And last year alone, we had over 22,000 people stay overnight in our Safe House.
Oh, that is amazing. Well, would definitely love to support. So, let's have a longer conversation.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Randy,
Thank you.
that's beautiful. I can feel the heart of that, Bella Vrita, for sure. So Bella, we got Randy, we got Natalie, and I think it's time for some beautiful feedback on what people loved, what people could see being optimized. Please, Bella.
Yes. So just as Sean said, judges, this is the next part in the show where we get to give back in the form of feedback. And so it's going to be 30 seconds of feedback for either Natalie or Randy, just something that they did great. Maybe something that they could improve so we could get better at our yeses. And then what would that next step be? Would that next step be you'd rather go to the dentist and have a root canal than have to have a longer conversation with Randy or Natalie? I don't think anyone's going to need a root canal today. But maybe our next step is like a nice mocha chocolate and a little croissante from Starbucks for a little bit longer of a conversation. Or maybe you'd be willing to rent a private room at the Capitol Grill and get like the nice seafood tower, the nice juicy steak, unless you're a vegan, of course, and maybe you're having like salad and French fries, but you're not going to skip out on dessert because you want to have the longest meeting possible to get to know Natalie or Randy as much as possible. But if that still is not enough time and you want to maximize the most amount of time with Randy or Natalie, you would be willing to rent a private jet, pick up Randy or Natalie, and take them anywhere in the world to have the longest meeting possible. Let's kick it off with Dr. Tendai. And how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Natalie?
Okay, so I'm going to comment on Randy because she's a fundraiser and you were a donor, and I can pretty much relate to that. And she really, I would say, touched most of in a short period of time, some of the key points. She gave the donor the impact that they've done in the past. Her focus for the strategy for what she wants funded was very concise, to the point, and manageable. I also think she had a clear strategy, and she gave the donor options of where they can fund within a goal. So I will give Randy that feedback. So it was well done.
Excellent. And what will be next, Dr. Tendai? We're looking like a little mocha chocolate and a croissant, private room at the Capitol Grill, maybe even a private jet.
Room at the Capitol Grill.
and Dr. Tendai, what would you have in the private room? Are you a seafood tower person, steak, both? Like, what would it be for you?
Oh, I am a fish person. I'm not very adventurous with a lot of seafood, but you'll definitely get prawns there. You'll definitely get some varieties of fish, salmon, and then you'll have some wine and great music as well in the room.
I'm in.
We're gonna have a beautiful dinner at the Capitol Grill. We got some prawns, some fish. Dr. Tendai's got it, and she's our next president. Let's go, Bella.
Dr. Tendai for president. Next up, let's go Daniel. Daniel, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Randy?
For Randy, Randy was soliciting the funding, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so I think that was great, the way that, you went over the various types of funds that you deal with. I think that maybe connecting with someone who had plenty of money like that, it would have been cool to maybe invite her for a sit down, which was probably coming, but to really discuss values and what's on each other's heart, like the heart of a philanthropist, which direction would she really like to go in, and then sort of go from there, just sort of have an inquiry and get to know each other a little better. But I thought it was great that, you know, you could get the meeting together to begin with, but having the meeting, I would definitely go for that. What's underneath the skin? What's keeping you up at night about some things, perhaps that you feel that your heart could be settled on.
And what would be our next step? Yeah, awesome. Our next step would be the cup of coffee, the private room, the jet. What's coming next?
Oh, I would say, yeah, that's right. I would say the dinner. The dinner would be great if you feel like in a skytop restaurant somewhere with a pretty view, where you can sort of like you're having a 10,000-foot conversation anyway, and you could just be going along and just enjoying some delicious food. And seafood would be great. Yeah, seafood would be great. Maybe a little wine.
A little rooftop, 10,000-foot conversation at 1,000-foot. Bella, let's go.
Let's go. Next up, we got Tamisha. Tamisha, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Natalie?
Oh God, I was going to say Randy too. So Natalie, I'm going to say I like the wow factor.
No, Natalie, we can make that change if you've got some great feedback you'd like to give Randy.
All right. So for Randy, it was great. I like the wow factor. So I would like to hear the amount of services provided up front, the dollars and the services provided up front, then go for the ask. I would go to the Capitol Grill, have the seafood tower and some wine, and actually invite some other folks that I know that are in that space to give. But yeah, give the wow factor up front, our results, and then go for the ask. But yeah, it was great.
Awesome, Tamisha. Thank you very much for that. Bella, we got stakes flying. Come on.
We got stakes flying. Next up, we got Manish. How about your 30 seconds of feedback for Natalie?
Yes, Natalie, it was interesting in terms of your piece. What I found interesting was that the call actually it was an inbound call that was coming in, and it wasn't that you had reached out to Bella like to solicit her business, but she was calling in, and so that's how the conversation went. So it was kind of interesting. So I think from that perspective, it was I thought you did a pretty good job of kind of bringing of eliciting from her, hey, why she made the call and what. So she is obviously looking for an IP lawyer on the side. So you did a pretty decent job. The only thing there might have been that when somebody calls in, either they've already decided on you that they want to hire you, or they are just perusing options, right? And at least in our stuff, when we are reaching out to try to always say, okay, hey, where are you in the process of hiring an IP? So just in case, right? If she's not 100% sure in terms of what's happening with you, and maybe she's looking to, maybe it would have been interesting for you to see, hey, where you are in this process. Why now, right? I mean, they've been obviously doing it for 24 years. So that might have been some additional information that you might have collected. I think everything else you seem pretty solid about. You gave her different options that she should consider. The only other thing was that, like, the next week that you would send sometime. Next week you send her sometime. I think that one was maybe a specific time would have been interesting. Like, instead of just saying next week I'm going to spend time, it would have been like, hey, it does next week on so and so date works for you, right? So I think maybe that if she's already there and she's so amenable, putting the time in might have been done.
And speaking of next steps, what would the next step be? Cup of coffee, maybe seafood tower, private room, private jet. What is the next step?
Yeah. So next steps from, it used to be that we would always only do meetings in person, right? Where we'll go to their office or we invite them to ours but I'm not 100% sure, Natalie, how your business works from that perspective. I think now a lot of times the meetings have become virtual, that we tend to end up doing this virtual. So I'm not 100% sure in terms of what is the typical mechanism that people like to do on your side. But generally, face-to-face meeting is preferred.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you for that. Belverita, it is that time when Bella likes to switch it up and thinks it's only hospitable if Randy and Natalie got put on the hot seat, that she puts me on the hot seat. And Bella, we just got back from the Caymans. We dove 14 times. I'm a little tired. Could you take it easy on me, please?
I don't think so, because Randy, Natalie, maybe you ladies knew what you were doing, maybe you didn't, but this is the time in the show that I have the honor and privilege of putting my co-host on the hot seat in a scenario that he has no idea about, to see if he can flex his influence muscles or not, because I believe if we can all get a little better at getting yes, we have more money, time, and magic in our pockets. And so, Daniel, I'm actually going to enlist your help. I have 3 scenarios that I have come up with in the last 40 minutes or so that for Sean to go from hello to yes on. I'm going to ask you if you'll choose one of my scenarios, or you can change anything about my scenarios, or if you hear something you're like, yeah, now I have an idea, I'd like to see this instead, then you can actually scrap my ideas and come up with something much, much harder on your own. Are you willing and able to hear my 3 scenarios and choose one, Daniel?
Yes, I'll give it a shot.
All right. Option number 1, big support in Randy's charity. No, she's looking for funding for that name. I was reading online, Sandra Bullock is a big advocate for domestic violence. So option number 1, Daniel, is Sean would role play Randy going from hello to yes with Sandra Bullock for $100,000 donation to her domestic violence charity. So that is option number 1, Daniel. Option number 2, I was doing a little research, and believe it or not, there is a device for kicking your own butt. And so I thought option number 2 is Sean could role play Natalie going from hello to yes with the person who invented this self butt kicking device to be their patent and IP attorney. So that is option number 2, Daniel. And then option number 3, because we've had a little jokes, but I'm a big fan of Dr. Tendai. And so option number 3 is Sean would go from hello to yes with Dr. Tendai to run for president. So those are my 3 options that I have for you today, Daniel. Do any of those inspire and motivate you that you'd like to see Sean go from hello to yes, or did that inspire an idea of your own?
Well, I think they were all they all are very, very good. And I think option number 3 would be pretty cool, because maybe it will actually happen. Okay? Maybe Zimbabwe will have a new president someday.
There you go. I thought about making it a hello to yes to cause former President Trump to drop out of the race, but I didn't know if that was way too political, so I didn't go that route yet.
That would have been cool too.
Dr. Tendai, are you up for playing yourself and Sean going from hello to yes with you to run for president?
Oh my goodness, where do I start?
Now, Belle, is this president of the US or president of Zimbabwe?
Oh, president of Zimbabwe is more realistic.
Oh, we're going for Bella. Which is it?
We're going to go for president of the United States, even though she's not a citizen of, but hey, why not?
Maybe I can just be president of some futuristic country.
So we've created a constitutional amendment. The Supreme Court has reversed precedent yet again. And now let's go with the ability for Dr. Tendai to run for president of the United States. So, right. Hello, is Dr. Tendai there?
Yes, she's here.
Hey, Dr. Tendai. This is Sean Callaghy, and we had a 3-minute call scheduled for today. Is still a good time for you?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I'm really grateful for your accepting the call. I know we're going to be communicating about, and I'm a little surprised you took the call. I'm so grateful you did. But can I ask you, what prompted you to actually take this call?
Well, I've heard about you. I know your reputation, and I think you'll get my campaign to where I want it to be. And I trust I'm heading in the right direction, and I wanted to hear your proposal.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that very much. But can I ask you this? Why would you want to go through all this? Why would you want to run for president of the United States? I know that you've run for office in Zimbabwe. I know the political process can be so grueling and so brutal. What's the why that's on your heart, Dr. Tendai, to do this?
Well, my background has been in economic development, and I've seen how government can influence change in different communities. And I would like to be part of that process at a larger scale. I would like to use my office to institute policies that I believe could bring about change for people and communities.
Well, thank you for sure, Dr. Tendai, for that why, that purpose behind it. So, from that place of wanting to create change founded in economic development, may I share a few things that may or may not resonate with you?
Yes, please.
So, Dr. Tendai, my work in the world is based on pursuing the relevant truth. It's a complex job, right? We hear and learn about so much, and there's a car accident, there's a shark attack. A shark attack is not relevant truth, but it becomes top of the page because it is so seldom an occurrence. So, in pursuit of the relevant truth, we have to discuss things that are very uncomfortable in the political context to do. And one of the challenges we have is that there's two and only two real political parties. And there's this entire checklist of issues that both parties hold as sacrosanct. So we can't get to the truth. It's one side versus the other. At least this is my perspective. So, what I'd love to talk to you about in a longer conversation is not the 2024 presidential election. 4 months to go, you're not famous. This is obviously not going to happen for this go round. What I'm a stand for, however, is the need for a legitimate third party. And in the history of the United States, there's obviously been no legitimate third party that has ever created any movement at all, at least not in the last 100 years of our nation. So, and in addition, while we may have different demographics, socioeconomically, gender, race, religion, that tend to vote in certain directions, it occurs to me that some of these voting lines are not achieving the outcomes people seek. Despite the great promises of many, there are changes that do not occur. I'm blind, and 75% of people like me have been unemployed for 60 years. And the party that my people vote for hasn't provided the outcomes. Now, I don't think the other party is going to provide the outcomes either. And if you look at the inner city dynamics, they have been hellish at best for 100+ years. So the conversation I'd like to have, Dr. Tendai, is how do we legitimately, over the next 4 years, begin to shape a new political party based on your background, your genius in economic development, and how do we bring this forward? Do I think that this party would win in 2028? I absolutely do not. Do I believe that by 2036, there could be the emergence of a legitimate political party? I absolutely do. And you could be at the forefront of blazing that trail, crossing boundaries and lines across the parties, and maybe have a little fun and call it the Purple Party, right? So, Dr. Tendai, all I'd love to do is to have a 30-minute conversation where I can outline how I believe over the course of the next 12 years, a legitimate third party can emerge. And who knows? I mean, a miracle could happen in 2028 or 32, but in the process, your identity and your impact will skyrocket, whether or not you become president. And that's what I'd love to outline for you in a 30-minute conversation. So, Dr. Tendai, how would it resonate with you or not to have a 30-minute conversation about the future of America, the emergence of a purple party, and the fulfillment of your mission, vision, and purpose, please?
I like the idea. However, I forgot to mention to you when I presented my position that I'm an independent candidate who want to run for president. And I was thinking if we could create that somewhat of a set aside third party for independence to be included and to bring diversity of ideas and perspective without necessarily belonging, then the people, the constituencies that you talked about, people with who are blind, people who are marginalized, people who don't usually get proper representation, would have a seat at the table, a representative with a seat at the table, running for that presidential position. So call it a party if you will, but it will be a set aside to make sure that members of that party will have their representatives at the table to include all those constituencies that are not usually represented.
Well, Dr. Tendai, that is extraordinary, because exactly what I was going to be proposing to you is how this grouping, this ecosystem that we can call the purple ecosystem, perhaps instead of the purple party, would be emerging to bring truth forward from many different perspectives in many different ways. And when we have our sit down, I think all of that can be made more clear, and we can see how we can synergize our visions to create something truly unique and different. How does that resonate with you or not?
Great, Sean. So let's start our purple party right now.
Let's go. Thank you, Dr. Tendai. Shall I set that up with your team? ... Out of roll. So Dr. Tendai, how'd I do as me speaking with you about all of this? How did that feel?
You did great. You did great. And I look forward for your people to meet with my people, and let's start the ball rolling for the next campaign coming up in a few years.
Let's go, Dr. Tendai. Beautiful job. And Dr. Tendai, how was your time today on the Heart of Influence?
Excellent. It was actually an unexpected joy and experience, because I didn't know how it was going to play out and how I was going to contribute, but it's fun. It's been fun.
That's awesome. Well, we appreciate it. Thank you for joining the Research and Development Laboratory of the Heart of Influence, and for all the connectivity with these amazing folks you're here with today. Heart-centered, growth-minded for sure. Speaking of heart-centered and growth-minded, Bella Rita, Natalie, congratulations on all of your impact and success. Thank you for being here today. How did I do in the conversation with Dr. Tendai, and how was your time overall, Natalie, on the Heart of Influence?
Thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun. I am going to go back afterwards and probably nitpick everything I said and and what I should have said, but I'll try not to. But as far as how you did, Sean, you did great. And I loved how you listened to what Dr. Tendai said about, what she wanted and what was important to her, and then found a way to give that to her. And Sean is gone.
Lost Sean.
Computer
Bye.
is my guest, and so I will try to give him a quick ring and get him in via the telephone.
Your call has
However, let's go, Natalie. Thank you so much for that share.
Your call has been
And it seems like everything is dead. So thank you, Natalie, so much for that. And how about we go to our other participant who not always easy in that participant seat, but did a phenomenal job, even though there might have been some confusion on the front end, but phenomenal job. And Randy, how was your time with us on the Heart of Influence today?
I thought it was a lot of fun. It was interesting. Everyone here had a lot to offer, and it was very interesting. And I really liked Dr. Shanai's energy, the way that she interacted with Sean. And, you really do seem very passionate about your position. So I know you're not really looking to run for president, but you definitely have that energy, which is, draws people to you.
Thank you.
And I think we got Sean back. Thank you for that. Randy and Sean, are you there?
I am, but keep it going. Sorry, guys. I have a technical difficulty, obviously. But Bella, you're rolling, please.
Yes. So let's next go. Daniel, thank you for your assistance in choosing that scenario. And how was your time with us on the Heart of Influence today?
Well, I'm going to use a phrase that I learned through a series of landmark education courses that I took, and that is truly, I'm touched, moved, and inspired. I really am, and I save that for just a few occasions, because I love the energy within this space of your company and the group, and the fact that you have this and that all these wonderful people are attending. And I feel humble, and boy, I just think it's beautiful. I'll just share very quickly, I have a dream to be able to speak out for children's issues around the world and be able to do so on my own dime once I get more successful with this new business that I have. But that's all I want to do. I think our children need more love, and I don't want to get off on that, but I'm very interested in this because influence is the name of the game and on a heart basis. So thank you very much, really, everybody.
Daniel, thank you. And your being touched, moved, and inspired is touching, moving, and inspirational. And thank you for that. And Bella, I just want to put a flag in the ground. When we do scenarios in the moment of me being on the hot seat that are heart-centered, aspirational, and affecting larger issues, the effect is exponentially more. Like, I'm just present to it. So Daniel, thank you for that share. Bella, great scenario. Thank you for your scenario. Dr. Tendai for it. Because sometimes we have a lot of fun, and Bella's, having me, sell poop coffee, or something in the scenario, which is great. The people have fun and we laugh. But the illustration of what's at stake in the superpower of influence comes through so much more powerfully in this type of mechanism, which is like so clear to me. So great job, Daniel. Thank you, sir. And Bella, thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. And let's go. Manish, thank you. Contributions to our participants. Thank you for being here today. And how was your time with us on the Heart of Influence?
I loved it. I think it was kind of interesting that Daniel, you chose a scenario that I would have chosen. Like, okay, there is no way Sean can crack this one, right? I mean, it was like the first thought that came to my mind was, but it was really well done. Dr. Tendai, you're just very passionate about, and the conversation was kind of, I think what I really liked about it was that Sean kept it real, and he didn't overpromise at any point of time, didn't say, oh, you won't win today, or you're not going to win in the next 4 years. So that was actually interesting for me that, the conversation went in a direction that was credible, and that's so important to actually have credibility when you're having those conversations. So I loved it. I think it was very well done.
Thank you, brother. And I am present to your mastery, your mavenness, which we say in the spirit of Malcolm Gladwell's The Tipping Point, when he talks about people of influence being connectors. Salespeople are mavens, and mavens only share the truth of what's on their heart. And to receive that from you, sir, Manish, receive absolute gratitude and presence to the fact that doesn't come lightly. So really appreciate that.
Thank you so much for
yeah. And Bella, we had everybody share, or we have one more final friend.
Last but not least, Tamisha, how was your time with us? This is the second time that you've gotten to see Sean speak live. And how was your time with us on the Heart of Influence?
Well, you know what? I really enjoyed this. Everybody here is an amazing rock star. I can't wait to get your contact information to follow up with you. Randy, amazing. Natalie, yes. What you're doing, protecting people's companies, their intellectual property. People just don't know about that. They start an LLC and think that's it. So no, I think everybody in this group is amazing. And I know Dr. Tendai and Sean, I met you, but everyone's here has been amazing. And I like the impactful way that he presented to Dr. Tendai to get her to go from hello to yes. And just like Daniel said, to be able to speak to her and Manish spoke and speak in terms that were actual, that it's not going to happen overnight, that this is a long road ahead that you're on. And if you're up for it, then we, potentially can make this happen. But this is not an overnight sensation. It's going to take time, and you have to you got to be built for the journey. And she obviously was, she was going to be ready to go, but you had to be built for the journey. But the success doesn't come overnight, and you have to be ready to take that journey and kind of stay in it and stay in the game. So I like that he spoke from a real example that it doesn't happen overnight, that you do got to be in it for the long haul and for the journey to see those level of success. So this was great. You guys are all amazing. I'm so glad to be in this group.
Tanisha, and you are heart-centered, growth-minded, and amazing for sure. For everybody, thank you for being here. Thank you for the trust. Thank you for the moment. We say that all business is built on relationships, obviously, and all relationships obviously necessitate a shared experience to grow. So the question becomes, like, what's the most efficient shared experience we can have to begin to grow and develop relationships? And that's the Heart of Influence, which is born when COVID shut the world down. And we kept it going because it's way more efficient than anything else I could possibly think of. That takes more money, time, and energy. So thank you all for being here. Gifts for being here. And I'll just say this in one quick frame. 27 years I've studied influence. It is not linear differential. And in many situations, it's not even exponential differential. It's infinite differential, meaning people can't cause yes very effectively, even heart-centered, sophisticated people. And the ability to cause yes is what causes everything. So we have 3 gifts of ours for you to further that in your mission, vision, and purpose. The first is simply this Wednesday, 8 a.m. Eastern time. Come back, and we have other fine folks for you to meet with. We're going to train. We call it our deep practice session, like the dojo of Mr. Miyagi and the Karate Kid, or Yoda and Dagobah and Jedi training, or maybe your piano teacher training at the most masterful level. We actually practice, and you meet other people 8 a.m. Wednesday. Nothing is sold there. Footnote. Second, our group influence book. It's been favorably compared to, well, everything in the space of influence, factually by incredibly sophisticated people. It can become your textbook for group influence with people. What is group influence? Public speaking, leading, managing are gifts to you as well. And third, we have a business, you can call it a mission acceleration session. Again, nothing sold to you there. You go like, what are you guys doing then? We have plenty of things to do with you forever, but we give value, give value, give value. And the mission acceleration session, your heart and mind will be blown as you have a mechanism of seeing what you don't see about the acceleration of your mission. I've had the privilege of paying more than $125 million in salaries in my life from a company I own 100% of. I pay more than $1 million in salaries per month. I'm not Bill Gates, but I have built numerous scale businesses. And I understand how to do it at speed, and it's not through Facebook ads. It's not through random networking. There's a mechanism for developing the superpower of influence, what you point it at, and how emotionally we get ourselves to use it. That's what our work brings forward in the world, and we have a lot of problems in the world, a lot of division. It will only be through people who have the superpower of integrous influence that we're going to close those gaps, create the unity that we all seek in our hearts and our souls. So thank you for that. All of that. And Bella Rita, quickly, your final.
Yes, my final is well put, Sean. Couldn't have said it any better. And, that is what we're all here for. And so, those gifts that we put in the chat, those are to continue our relationship together so we can get to know each other. Definitely join us on Wednesday because we'd like to get to know you better and see what more we could do together. So thank you all for being here. And Sean, back to you.
And I'll say some final. What if there's no investment you've ever made in a book or no investment you've ever made in any coaching that will eclipse the hour and the book, and it's our gift? And that is my stand. You've never had a better hour or a better book to bring your mission forward. And I say that with humility, but zero false modesty, because we tell it like it is from our hearts. So thank you for that. And we do end every show by saying this. First, thank you. Thank you for the trust. Thank you for the presence. Connect with one another. Take that value away from here, in addition to the gifts. Second, I may be physically blind, which I am, but I'm absolutely certain as to the possibilities for acceleration that sit in front of all of us on this Heart of Influence and across the globe. Those opportunities are so often sitting right in front of us. But at some level, particularly because we're bombarded with so many messages, at some level, as those possibilities for acceleration right in front of our nose, Bella, we're all blind.
And just learning to see. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, guys. Happy Mastery Monday. Great job. Thank you.